Myself, Swapan Banerjee, teacher of DAV Public School, CCL Giridi. All of you are most welcome in the second session of Chapter 2, Unit Sports and Nutrition. Students, previously we have already completed the first unit. It was your planning in sports. I hope that you have already go through the video which I have already released in previous weeks. Sports and nutrition. In these topics, we have to learn the learning objectives are to learn what is balanced diet and nutrition, to understand nutritive and non-nutritive components, to know the healthy weight, pitfall of dieting and food intolerance. Let us come with the balanced diet. That first of all, let me tell you that what is the meaning of the food. Food is very much essential for each and everyone to provide us the energy for mental and emotional health of an individual as well as the physical health. What is the balanced diet? If anybody will ask you that what do you mean by balanced diet, our answer will be that a diet which consists of all the essential food nutrients, that is proteins, carbohydrate, fats, vitamins, minerals and water in correct proportion is called balanced diet. Balanced diet contains the correct proportions of carbohydrate, protein, fats and oils, minerals and water. The amount of food it normally required and differ from individual to individual as per their work culture, their age, their gender and their physical appearance. Normally, what differs from individual to individual. Normally, in the balanced diet, the carbohydrate type of food materials, the carbohydrates should be present in our diet 65 to 75%. Fats and oils should be present near about 20 to 25%, and protein should be present 10 to 15%. It means the ratio should be 4:1:1, and it considered as the balanced diet. So students, I hope that all of you are able to understand the meaning of the balanced diet. Now come that, sir, what will be the diet required for the person concerned, those who are working in the different categories. Let me tell you that whenever we considered about the food requirement, we should consider their calorific values. The person who normally in rest position, they require 22,000 kilocalorie food. Light work person required 2500 to 3000 kilocalorie, and those who are performing the moderate type of the work, they need 3000 to 3500 kilocalorie, and heavy worker need 3500 to 6000 kilocalorie. Now come that what is the meaning of the nutrition. Nutrition means, that is, the nutrition is a science which deals the food affects the body and provides energy through nutrients. It means that nutrition is a process through which the first process will be started from eating, then it will comes under the category of the digestions, then absorptions, then distributions, then utilizations and then excretions. The whole process, entire this process, comes under the category of the nutrition. Again, I am repeating, that is nutrition. It means that when we eat any food, and after that when we digest the food material, when it will be absorbed inside our body cell, and when it will be distributed from one cell to another cell, and after that it will be utilizations by the body organs, and then when the excretions part taken place, then it comes under the category of the nutritions. Now next come that what is the meaning of the nutrients. Nutrients means These are the complex chemical substances found in the food items. Nutrients are the complex chemical substances found in the food items. The major nutrients are, the first one is macronutrients as well as micronutrients. That is, it means that we normally divide the nutrients in the two categories. The first one is the macronutrients, another is the micronutrients. In the macronutrients, normally the different kind of the carbohydrate, protein, fats and oils and water comes under these macronutrients because it required maximum inside our body, and that's why it considered as the macronutrients. Micronutrients are those nutrients which required very less in amount inside our body, and these micronutrients are normally responsible for the different kind of the chemical reactions inside our body, which is known as the metabolism. Macronutrients normally, it provides energy inside our body. It normally responsible for the proper growth and development of our body, and it normally help us for the regulate the body functions properly. Now come in the, what is the meaning of the macronutrients and the types of the macronutrients. Macronutrients, here the different kind of the macronutrients are carbohydrates, proteins, fats and water. Carbohydrate, it normally consists of the carbon, hydrogen and oxygen molecules, and it is the only food materials which can supply the maximum energy inside our body to perform the different kind of the work. And this kind, when we use the carbohydrate, it normally we should consider that excessive carbohydrate if we take, then it also affects the different kind of the heart disease and hypertension and diabetes inside our body. And less amount of carbohydrate, it also affect our body like loose skin, weight loss and fatigue. Carbohydrates are normally categorized in the three types. The first one is the monosaccharide, another is disaccharide, another is polysaccharides. In this first category, that is the monosaccharide and disaccharide, they are water soluble, whereas these polysaccharides are not water soluble. And these monosaccharides and disaccharides, when we it is soluble with water, and the taste of monosaccharide and disaccharides are sweet in nature, and when we take it normally provide us the instant energy like glucose, etc. Proteins are normally very much essential for the preparations of the hormones, enzymes and antibody and the proper growth and development of the children. This protein contains of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen molecules. Along with it also contains the nitrogen molecules, as well as it also contains sometimes phosphorus, etc. Fats is also very much essential for our body. It also provides the tremendous energy inside our body, and the fats are normally divided in the two categories. The first one is the saturated, another is the unsaturated fats. Fats are also considered as the lipids. In another forms, it is considered as the lipids. Normally, the saturated fats and unsaturated fats, there is a vast difference. This saturated fat, they are very much solid at the cool temperatures, whereas the unsaturated fat, they normally liquid at the room temperatures. And these fats are provide the energy inside our body to perform the different kind of the work. Next one is water. As per the USDA, that is the United States Dietary Associations, they suggest that water should be considered as the macronutrients because it normally supports to our body organs to perform their work properly, and that's why it comes under the category of the macronutrients. The children, I hope that you have already learnt about the types of the macronutrients and their functions. Now come the micronutrients. Micronutrients are those nutrients which are very less amount is very much required inside our body, and that's why they are considered as the micronutrients. These micronutrients are minerals as well as the vitamins. In the types of the minerals, there also we can divide the minerals in the two categories, that is the macro minerals as well as micro minerals. These macro minerals, normally calcium, potassium, sodium, magnesium and phosphorus come under the category of the macro minerals, because these minerals are very much essential for our body. Now look at a glance that if suppose that we will take the less amount of the calcium, then what will happen? Then immediately we can face the problems with muscle cramps. If we will take the less amount of potassium, then anorexia and depressions can be observed. What is the meaning of the anorexia? It means that sometimes the tendency of the vomiting normally occurs inside the body of the human being, that comes under the category of the anorexia. Sodium Na, that is, if the percentage of the sodium will be less, then immediately we can face the problem like fatigue as well as the cramps inside our body. Another is magnesium. Magnesium also support us to overcome the fatigue as well as the poor memory. That is, sometimes you might have seen that some children are there, those who are not able to give the, recall or memorize any things properly due to the less of, that is, magnesium. Another is phosphorus. It is also very much essential, and it normally overcome us from the weakness as well as anorexia of an individual. Now come in the category of the micro minerals. Students, which I am explaining, this all comes under the category of the minerals. The first one is copper. Copper is very much essential to support the skin, and if the less percentage of the copper will be there, then immediately we will face the dry skin problem. Another is chromium. Chromium, normally it is very much essential to maintain the sugar balance inside our body. That is, sometimes we face the irregularity in the sugar level inside our body if the percentage of the chromium will be less or not supplied properly. Then the cobalt. Cobalt is also very much supportive minerals for the anemia, overcome the anemia. What is the meaning of the anemia? That when the RBC percentage will be the less in the blood cells, then it comes under the category of the anemia. Next one is iodine. Iodine is also very much essential for support to the thyroid glands. Otherwise, the goiter disease can be observed. That is, enlargement of the thyroid gland can be observed, and that comes under the category of the goiter. Another is iron. Iron is very much essential because iron normally support us to overcome the weakness as well as to overcome the anemia. So these are the very important minerals which are regular basis we need in our diet in a very small amount, but out of these five, that is calcium, potassium, sodium, magnesium and phosphorus, this comes under the category of the macro minerals, and this comes under the category of the micro minerals. Next comes to the vitamins. Children, you might have known that vitamin A, D, E, K, all these four vitamins are fat soluble vitamins, and except these vitamins B1, B2, B3, B5, B6, B7, B9, B12 and vitamin C, all these vitamins are normally soluble in water. What will be the essential support of the vitamins? That is, if the less vitamins observed inside the body of a human being, vitamin A, then the night blindness can be observed. What is the meaning of the night blindness? That is, the person will not be able to see properly during at night. Then immediately he or she should be supplied with vitamin A. Vitamin D, that is less vitamin D, normally it creates the soft bones, that is the bones will be very soft. Another is vitamin E, that is the cell metabolisms affected by this. and effects of blood clottings can be observed if we will supply with the less amount of vitamin K. If we will supply of the vitamin B1, then less supply of vitamin B1, we can observe cracks in the lips. B2, we can find the itching problems can be observed in the organs. B3, loss of appetite. B5, the fatigue can be observed. Less amount of vitamin B6, that is the skin disorder. B7, the neurological problems may be observed. Due to the less amount of vitamin B9, the mental health may be affected. Vitamin B12, that is the heart disease can be observed. And vitamin C, it is very much essential to upliftment our immune system, and ultimately it normally develop the proper protections of the teeth and gums, because sometimes you might have seen that unnecessarily bloods and normally comes during the time of brushing, then it means that is you required the vitamin C. Now next come, that is out of these vitamins we will proceed towards the nutritive and non-nutritive substances. What is the meaning of the nutritive substances and what we will consider as the non-nutritive substances? Nutritive substances means that the substances which is very much essential for proper supply of the energy inside our body to perform the daily work properly. This comes under the category of the nutritive substances. Non-nutritive substances are those substances which does not provide any kind of the energy, and they comes under the category of the non-nutritive substances. In these nutritive substances, all the macro and the micronutrients are considered. That is the all macronutrients like your carbohydrates, protein, fats, water, as well as different kind of the minerals as well as vitamins are very much essential and to perform the body organs properly and to get the energy properly. This comes under the category of the nutritive substances. Non-nutritive substances are like fibers, water, color, flavor, and the different kind of the ingredients. These comes under the non-nutritive substances. Sometimes you might have seen that for taste we normally utilize the chili powder or curry patta or different kind of the ingredients which will not provide any kind of the energy inside our body, and that's why it comes under the category of the non-nutritive substances. Now please come that what is the meaning of the your healthy weight. Healthy weight means that when the weight that is in sports management, we normally consider the healthy weight related with the BMI. What is the meaning of the BMI? BMI means that is the BMI stands for body mass index. What is the meaning of the body mass index? That is the weight of an individual divided by in kg divided by height square of an individual in meter can be calculated, and if the calculation comes under that is the less than 18.5, then we can say that this particular person is underweight. If their weight normally lies 18.5 to 24.9, then we can say that they are the normal body weight candidate. And if the BMI it overcome 24.9, that is the 25 to 29.9, then we can say that is the overweight. And 32, which when BMI it lies in between 30 to 34.9, then we can say that is the obesity class 1. Then if the BMI lies 35 to 39.9, then we can say the obesity class 2. And if the BMI lies greater than 40, then we can say that it is the obesity class 3. It has been observed in the society that if anybody is that is thinking about himself or herself that my weight is gaining continuously, so I should go for dieting. without knowing the meaning of the dieting, they normally try to curtail their food materials unknowingly or unscientifically, which ultimately affects to their immune system as well as their body functions. So dieting, it means that whenever we go for dieting, we should consider the calorific value of the food, and without the calorific value, if we curtail our food materials, then it may leads to that is weak our immune system as well as acute the loss of weight and leads to the serious health problem. So dieting does not mean the curtail of the food materials. Dieting means that we should consider the calorific value of the food, and accordingly we have to burn that much calorie inside our body through different kind of the exercises, and ultimately it will help us to give the proper support to functions our organ in a proper way. What actually pitfalls of the dieting? That is the extreme reductions of the calories. In the dieting process, we can find that person concerned, they normally reduce their calorific value of the food materials, and restrictions of selected nutrients. They don't bother or they don't want to eat the different kind of the food materials which are made up of the fat cells, and they normally proceed, instead of that they normally proceeds to take the different kind of the liquid food materials without unknowingly, but ultimately it affects to their calorific value, which affects to their body. Intake of calories through beverage, that is continuously. You might have seen that sometimes the person consumes, instead of taking the food materials, they try to take a cup of tea or cup of coffee continuously, and they not feel hungry, and they think that in this way we can able to maintain our dieting process. But when we take the beverage, it also increase the calorific value inside the body, and ultimately it will not be burned properly, then it will have the negative effects. Intake of the labeled foods and skipping meals, that is sometimes it has been observed that some of the people, they try to skip their meals. Skipping meals also very ill effect and bad effect inside the body of the individual, and which ultimately affects to the proper functioning of the body. So these are the pitfalls of dieting. So children, let us again start it from the very that is the first objectives. That is, I hope that you have already learned all these things, and I have also explained each and everything. Again, I am telling that what we have learned, the objectives of these topics, that is sports and nutrition, to learn what is balanced diet and nutrition, to understand nutritive and non-nutritive components, to know the healthy weight and pitfall of dieting. Thank you, children. If you will have any kind of questions, you can send me through WhatsApp. I will give the answer.